All right. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so I'm actually going to deviate a little bit from the Parsha of the week and talk about Adar, because this year is a leap year in the Hebrew calendar. So it's one of those strange years where they do catch up because the lunar calendar and the secular Gregorian calendar, which is solar, don't quite match. So every once in a while they readjust to the seasons. So this year there's an Adar Aleph and an Adar Bet. And Adar is the month that we celebrate Purim. And when there are two Adars in a leap year, it's celebrated in the second month. So we're just about to enter the second month of Adar. The new moon is on March 2nd, so in a couple days from now. And the teaching is that when the month of Adar comes in, so does joy. So that's the main thing I want to teach to today. And I have some teachings for us about Purim and the Megillah and joy and all that. But while we do that, I want us to be making good use of the time. So let's do some feet opening stretches and massage while I offer a teaching. So what you're going to do is you can start, depending on, you might need to elevate your hips. You might want to extend a leg, whatever's comfortable for you. But you want to have access to your foot. And you can use your thumbs. You can use your knuckles. You can stretch the toes away from each other, make space. You can wiggle them forward and back. We're just stretching the muscles in the feet, and then you can really dig in there a little bit and give yourself a massage. And this works well with our theme because Adar and Purim has a sense of what is hidden from our ordinary awareness, like what's hidden in plain sight. What is there always, but we don't see it. And that's a big theme of the Megillah that we read. Esther, the queen, our heroine in the story, her name literally means what is hidden. Literally, Esther means that which is hidden. God's name and any discussion of God does not appear anywhere in the Megillah. God is hidden, but present throughout. Haman's plot against the Jews for genocide is hidden from the king and then gets revealed. There's a lot of this interplay of like, what do we see and what don't we see in our ordinary waking consciousness? So the feet, we're walking on and using our feet all the time, taking them for granted, but we don't tend to like see the bottoms of our feet. That's sort of hidden. The fact that our feet are constantly connecting to solid earth and drawing energy, literally drawing energy up from the earth, that's hidden from our awareness generally, right? Energetic, we are energetic beings, constantly energy interplay with our environment, but we don't always have consciousness of that. So, yeah. All right, you can take your ankle now, circle. And one of the things I want to do in this practice, and I said it before we started recording, is just do things that feel joyful and good in our body, because that's another theme of Purim. All right, so we're going to switch to the second leg, right, wherever you need to be to access that foot. And again, start with stretching through the toes, massaging, just enjoy your feet. Another thing hidden in the feet, I know I've taught this before, but for anybody who hasn't heard this, you know that there are 22 bones in each feet, which is an important number Jewishly because there are 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet and 22. We just had, I don't know how many of you, 22, 2022, and everybody was talking about 22s as a master number and, it draws in this awakening energy. Well, 22, part of that is because it's linked to Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah, because God created the world through 22 letters, spoke the world. All of creation is formed out of 22 letters, all of reality, right? So that's in our feet and that's hidden there. We're not usually aware of that, but we're walking on like basically the foundation of all of creation. So If I'm waxing a little mystical, it's because Adar is also associated with the month of Pisces, which is very mystical. It's about going into what is beneath the conscious awareness, going into the oceans, going under the waves, going deeper. Good. Massage out if you haven't already. So we have in the Megillah, it says, La Yehudim hayata ora v'simcha v'sason v'yakar. That there was for the Jews light and joy and happiness and honor. After the plot was revealed and after the king, foiled the plot and punished Haman. So the Jews there was joy, there was feasting, there was happiness. Good. Circle out through the ankle if you haven't. Point and flex, point and flex. Good. All right. Now, let's do a little bit of a meditation before we start moving. So find a comfortable seat. Allow yourself to close your eyes. And first, just settle down into your sit bones, whatever you're sitting on. Just feel the weight and the contact of that with the earth. So beginning from the physical sensation, in the book of Job, Job says, from my body I will behold God. So our physical being, our physical body is the very first contact point for coming into an awareness of the infinite dwelling presence, Shechinah. I don't know if you guys can hear the bird outside my window chirping, but that's bringing me a lot of joy right now. So for you, sitting here in this moment, your own body, your own breath, what brings you joy? Just stay in that inquiry. And see if you can bring that sensation of joy not into just your thinking minds, but into your physical body. Right? Can you feel the emotions associated with joy in your body? Where do you feel? Maybe there is a certain color or a vibration or an energy to joy. Maybe you can go into more and more subtle, deeper layers and really just feel that as an energy pulsing through the body. Just offering an intention for your practice this morning. What is it that you need to receive, that you invite in? And as you're ready, you can open your eyes. Let's take some side stretches and twists just from here to begin before we stand. So that was something that some of you requested. That feels good. So just sitting up tall, find your belly for a moment and just pull your belly button in towards the back of the spine. Just engage the core strength here. Notice what else kind of grips or tightens up or pulls. It's, we're all connected here. Another invisible mystery, right? That we do a tiny subtle adjustment somewhere and we feel it somewhere else, right? This interconnection. And how do we allow all of our awareness to just show us those things? Good. Inhale your arms up overhead. Let's just take a gentle twist over towards the right. The left fingertips can come to the outer thigh, the right fingertips behind you. And just sit up tall, drawing that belly into the back of the spine. Sit up tall, and then draw your shoulders down away from your ears. And your gaze could either be like 90 degrees off to the side. Your gaze could even be forward. Your gaze could be back behind you. You might even play with moving your head very gently and slowly in that range of motion, just to release the muscles in the neck. Softening the eyes, softening the muscles on the face. And gently releasing, inhale up through the center. And let's take the twist around to the other side. And again, first start by finding the belly drawing into the lower spine. Those shoulders down from the ears. And then just explore your pose. Really nice to close your eyes here. So everything has its outer form, and then there's what's inside of that form. So the asana literally means a seat or a shape. We're taking a form in our body. And then there's the inner experience of that shape. Good, release and come back through the center. Let's take an inhale up overhead, and this time we're just going to side bend. So wherever that side bend feels good for you, if you're having issues with your neck or shoulders, you do not need to bring the arm overhead. You could bring the hand behind the back and kind of open up the throat if that feels good. You could bring this hand behind the low back to open up more across the chest and shoulders. See what, again, there's the outer form, which is like the mask, the masecha, the mask that we're putting ourselves into a physical outward appearance. But what's within that is so much more interesting in a way. All right. Good. Come on back up through the center. One more inhale here. And take it over to the other side. Make sure you're still grounding down through that opposite sit bone. And that's really the rooting is what gives you the spaciousness to lengthen away from that anchor. Good. And come on back to the center. All right, let's come on to hands and knees. And we'll start in some cat and cows. So spread your fingers, make sure you get a nice clasp in the hands. Try not to lock out and hyperextend in the elbows. Keep a slight bend so you're working with muscle. And on an exhale, you curve the back upwards, draw the belly in, chin to chest. On the inhale, you lengthen the front of the torso, stretching the belly, stretching the throat. And do a few of those in your own breath pace. Again, the invitation is to close your eyes and go within. I'll offer you another teaching as you're here in your cat-cow. So there's a teaching from Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, one of the Hasidic rabbis, and he says, the Jew knows to look behind the facade, behind the mask and costume the world is wearing. The Jew knows that God created the world for the purpose of ultimately revealing God's self in it. This is very mystical and very Adar Purim, that God is hidden within everything in the world, within every form, within every structure, within everything we can see and touch and taste with our senses. It's all there in everything, in every moment, whether we are aware of it or not. So the question is, how do we become more consciously aware of what's behind that mask? All right, when you're ready, you're going to tuck your toes and you're going to lift into your first down dog and just play, right? Find joy in your down dog. Go in the direction of what feels good for you. And include your breath in that, right? Because the breath can add a quality of serenity, of comfort. And instead of walking our feet up to our hands today, we're going to walk our hands back towards our feet. When you get there, keep a bend in the knees. Let yourself hang in your ragdoll here. And again, take any movements that feel really good for your body. Just experiencing inwardly, that sensation of, this is where I want to be meeting myself and God in this moment. Take a look down at your feet. Remember that we started this practice really opening the bottoms of the feet. So even though you can't see the bottoms of your feet right now, right? They're underneath, they're hidden. You can be aware of them. And as we rise up, I want you to imagine sucking energy up through the bottom of your feet, drawing energy from the earth all the way up, strength, vitality, drawing that all the way up your legs as you come up to stand. And take a moment in your standing pose here to just feel strong, to feel rooted, to feel that connection with the earth. Bring your hands to your heart. Good. Let's inhale, lifting the arms up overhead. Yeah. And then take a hold of your left wrist with your right hand and just arch over in that side bend. So finding what is wonderful here, right? Going into that place of what feels good, and maybe again closing your eyes, breathing into that, feeling into it. Coming up to the center, switching the clasp of the hands, arching to the other side. Keep pressing your big toes down to keep finding that connection and grounding into the earth. Keep drawing the belly in and up. Good. And come back up through the center. Let's take the hands behind the back. You know, I love to do this stretch at the beginning of the practice. Clasping the hands, the palms reach towards each other, the elbows reach towards each other. And then just take one breath here, a little back bend if that feels good for you, but really draw the belly in, and the belly's lifting and lengthening, and just express the chest open. A little bit of extra breath in the upper lungs. And then bend the knees and take a forward fold here, hanging the head, the crown reaching to the ground. But try not to let the shoulders drop down into the ears and collapse and crunch the neck. Like lift those fingertips, those knuckles farther back away from you to really stretch the shoulders away from the neck. Good. And release the arms and come all the way back to stand. All right, let's take a little bit of a flow practice here. So starting at the front of your mat, hands to the heart. Good. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, put a smile on your face because you can. It's free, it's easy. Bend the knees, fold forward. Well, not always easy, right? We live in a crazy world where it's not always easy to find our smile, but we're going to do that on our mat. You're going to step your right leg all the way back. You're going to come all the way up for a lunge. Big, happy expression of the lunge. Keep your palms face forward, fingers spread. Kind of like this. Yes. Aha. Bend your front knee a little deeper. But now press back through your back heel. Yeah. You got it. Find your belly. If you're having trouble with your balance, you probably lost the core. So find that core. The core is the I am. I am, my sense of myself. Yogically, there's a teaching, Tvam Asi. I am that. That with the capital T, the eternal, the source. I am part of God in the world. So feel that I amness here in this pose. Good. You're going to float the hands back down to the ground. Step back to a plank. From your plank, you can lower your knees down to the ground. Slowly bend the elbows, lower your chest and your chin to the ground. You can untuck the toes. Good. Hands are spread underneath your shoulders. Elbows are up. And just press down into the pelvic bone. Press down into the 10 toenails and just lift your chest up. And then hug your elbows in towards your side waist. You're going to feel that as an engagement of your lats, of your mid-back. You'll feel the stretch in your belly. You might feel some shaking. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears. Good. Lower all the way back down. And take a moment to sit back into a child's pose. Good. And rest and breathe for a moment in your child's pose. So I happen to love RuPaul, and I watch his show. I've read a lot of his books. He's got a lot of wisdom. And one of the things RuPaul's famous for saying is we're all born naked and everything else is drag, right? We're born naked and the rest is drag. And who we are at our essence as human beings is something very divine, is godly, is something more than our outer covering. So everything we wear on top of that is just a mask and a costume. And when we take time like this in yoga practice and meditation in certain poses, we come back to the essence of who we are beyond the outer forms that we take on. All right, are we ready to move? Come back onto your hands and knees. Spread your fingers, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Let's just take a little twister stretch here before we go into the second side lunges. So take your right leg up to the sky, bend the knee, and drop the heel behind you. Open that inner thigh. So you're getting a nice inner thigh stretch.
Good. Keep your standing leg pressing back towards the ground. Engage the quad muscle on that leg. Look underneath your armpit up towards the ceiling. Smile. Turning things upside down. Good. And then bring that leg back down. Let's take the other leg up to the sky. Down dog split. And then bend the knee into twister. And you can feel the side stretch in this pose as well, actually, if you're reaching the knee, not just up to the sky and behind you, but also sort of like back towards your back heel. If you stretch that knee back, you'll feel the side waist lengthen out of that outer hip. Good, looking up. And then lower that leg back down. Good, you're going to walk your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale yourself all the way up to stand. Exhale your hands to your heart. And let's go for the second side. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, diving out over the legs. Inhale, halfway up, just lengthening through the spine. Pull the belly in and up, pelvic floor engagement. Get nice and strong here. And then you're going to step your left leg back behind you and come on up for your lunge on the second side. Yep. So your front knee should be, you're trying to get it parallel, the front thigh parallel to the floor with the knee right above the ankle. You don't want the knee past the ankle. Okay. If your knee is too far back and kind of almost straight, you want to give yourself more space. And then that back foot, reach that heel back more. Oh, subtle adjustments. And then open your arms up to the sky. If you'd like here, what might feel nice, we didn't do it on the other side, but we could do it here, is if you want to take your hands behind, create like a little kind of shelf, cozy pillow for your head, and then draw your elbows towards each other. And then just kind of like, almost like you're lifting. Like you're sitting in a high back chair and you're lifting and lengthening. So you get a little bit more opening and stretch in the front body, but you want your neck to feel supported here. Yeah. Good. All right, bring the arms up to the sky. Lower your hands to the mat. Come back into your plank pose. Oh, trying to make it so you guys can see me. Yeah, so come into your plank pose. And let's just play here for a minute with a little bit of core strength. So you're gonna take your right foot up off the floor, a couple inches, and you're gonna draw that knee in towards your nose. And then you're gonna step it back. Lift the left foot, draw the knee into the nose, squeeze, 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 press it back. And then you're going to do a few more of those at your own pace. And you can do them quickly or you can do them slowly. Both ways are challenging. Both ways will get your heart rate elevated and your belly muscle strong. So a lot of times when we think about core, and that core strength and that sense of I am, we think it's an egoic thing. My sense of my own confidence and pride, and that's not a bad thing, it's fine, right? Self-worth, self-confidence. But what if we also identified the I am with something bigger, with what's hidden inside of ourselves in all of creation? All right, when you're ready, bring it back into a down dog. So step your feet in a little closer to your hands. Find your down dog. Find your breath. The Hebrew equivalent of Tvam Asi, I am that, is Ani Zot. Ani Zot, I am that. All right, let's take your right leg high up to the sky. I'll just stay this way for you guys. You're gonna take your right leg high up to the sky. You're gonna look forward between your hands. You're gonna draw that knee all the way up towards your chin, maybe up towards your nose. Arch the back higher up. Draw the belly in. You can come back on the back tiptoes. Good, then look up between the hands and step that foot all the way forward. Turn your back foot down on a 45-degree angle, and you're going to cartwheel yourself up to your warrior two pose. Yeah. So you're in your warrior two. You want to try to find your spine straight, right? We're going to go off to the side stretches in a moment, but first start with that straight. And this front knee, try to prevent it from pitching in. You really want to check it out. Stretch the front toes. Find your knee moving straight over the middle 2-3 toes of that front foot. Okay, and here we go. Whoever said joyful feeling in your body is side stretching. I agree. So first, let's just start here. Just lean like someone's pulling you in one direction and then in the other, like a little tug of war. And just feel this from the side waist. This will work your oblique muscles, right? You're actually controlling and contracting this movement from there. Good. Good. And now let's add the arms. So as you lean backwards, you can go farther, really stretching the front side waist. And then as you come forward, the elbow can come down and the arm can reach over. So play with this dancing warrior. And again, if you don't want to dance it, you can just hold it. We're going to all hold it anyway soon. But just moving through the motions. Another way to do it is without resting the arms, something called Niralamba, unsupported. So that involves a little bit more core because you're not resting the arms on the rest of the body. Good. The next time you come forward, you can keep the forearm to the body, to the thigh, or you can bring the hand down to a block just behind that front thigh. And you can bring, you can rest like the palm of the hand to the block. Yeah, bring it to whatever height you need. And then once you're there, think about lengthening your tailbone and really rooting down through that back foot. Again, thinking about the energy of that foot pressing into the earth and drawing energy up out of the earth as well. And then draw this arm long. And again, if that doesn't feel right for your shoulder, you can drop the hand behind the head. You can drop the hand behind the back, whatever. Trust your body, what it needs this morning. And then actually, wherever your arm is, take that arm and turn your palm away from you and bring it behind you. And just rest the back of your hand against your back tush. And then from there, you're going to straighten the front leg. If you have the block, you might want to draw that block in a little closer. You might need to bring it on a higher level. And we're coming into an extended triangle here. Yeah, really root down through that back heel. You'll feel the lengthening happening all out of that outer side hip, waist. So where's your joy in this pose? Where physically, where in your body is feeling joyful? And what does that feel like? Maybe that just feels like a letting go of something. Like an inviting in of some softening and letting go of some tension. You're going to rebend the front knee. You can take this back hand now to your back waist. All right, someone called for a half moon. So you're going to step your back foot in a little closer to set yourself up. The block or the fingertips, if you don't have a block, whatever you need, is going to come to the floor out in front of you. And then you're going to step all of your weight into your front leg. Take your back leg straight back behind you. Think about lengthening through the heel, through the base of the sole of that foot. So you opened up the sole of that foot before at the beginning. Feel like all of the pores are open and reaching and stretching like you can grow tendrils out behind you. And that's creating length in the side waist. And then find the joy in your heart here. Maybe your arm comes to the sky, maybe your gaze reaches to the side, whatever you got. Oh, that looks so nice. Make sure it's fun. Make sure you're not suffering here. It's not about getting it right. It's about inviting in a certain kind of energy, presence, Shechinah. All right, from here, we're gonna go into a standing, we're gonna go into a standing split. So you're gonna find both fingertips to the floor or to your block, and then just lift that left leg straight up to the sky. Big stretch in the back of the standing right leg. And then you're gonna bend that knee, draw it all the way in towards your chin or your nose. Pull the belly button in and up. Good. And then lowering that leg to the ground, shaking yourself out, side to side. And then coming up to stand. Woo! How you guys feeling? Was that good? Nice. All right, let's do that whole thing on the second side. I'm not sure I remember how we got there. How did we get there? I don't know, but it's okay. We'll just find the second side. Inhale, bring your arms up to the sky. Exhale, folding yourself over. Come on up halfway, lengthen through the belly. Bring the hands to the floor, and let's just step back to plank for a moment. From your plank here, we're gonna do, in core language, they call them Supermans. But instead of bringing the knee towards the chin, you could just do that version again, or you can bring the knee towards the outer elbow. Knee towards the outer elbow. You just do a few of these. We're working the side waist. Good. And then lift yourself back into your down dog. Woo. Shake your head, relax the neck. Find your breath. When you've been practicing yoga for a while, down dog feels like coming home, right? It's the place where you can really just fully drop the mask, drop the facade, drop everything, and just be yourself. Let everything just be real, like you're flush with your own experience in this pose. All right, lift your left leg up to the sky. You're gonna draw that knee in towards the chin, squeeze it in and up. Elevate on your back tiptoes, look forward between the hands, step that left foot forward to the ground and turn the right foot down. And we're coming up to warrior two on the second side. Nice. So you guys don't need me to repeat all the prompts and alignments, you know it. Set yourself up, take a moment to feel into this pose, this posture. Find some freedom in your head and neck, even if that means dropping your arms, right? Again, moving in the direction of what is joyful, not what's hard. Bringing a little ease. And then here we go. We're just gonna kind of do that shimmy through the side waist. And then adding the arms to that. Right? Either supported or unsupported, just dancing through. There's actually a teaching by the Baal Shem Tov about Purim, that during Purim we're supposed to laugh and we're supposed to dance. That dance is actually an outer expression of inner joy, and so is laughter. Right? The ability to see what is funny and humorous behind the facade of like the outer, and then dance in that joy. All right, here we go. We're gonna find the extended side angle and hold it there. Again, if you want to set up with the block here,
That might help you go a little deeper, whatever you need and wherever you want to place that right arm. Notice where you're still efforting in the pose. Obviously, there's engagement and muscular work happening here, but see if that effort could be joyful in and of itself. It doesn't have to be, stressful. I forgot to have us hold the reverse triangle, so let's go back for a moment, straighten the front leg. Let's just come back here for a moment. So just stretching the front side waist. Good. And then from here, we'll go into that extended triangle. So with the both legs straight, you're just getting really nice big stretch out of this back hip, side waist. And then play with taking that hand behind the low back and just feeling how that changes the pose and lets you twist here. That brings the twist in, where the rib cage is twisting and that heart is opening, trying to peek at the ceiling. All right, half moon. Do your best. Step the back foot in, step your blocker hand forward. And coming up into some playful, joyful expression of this balance. And it's totally okay to lose your balance, to wobble, to reset. Can you find that eternal abiding presence within yourself in this very silly form? And from here, we bring the fingertips to the floor. We bring that back leg up to the sky, standing split. And then drawing that knee all the way in towards the nose. And dropping the foot down. Take opposite elbows here, or you could take Padmahasana, which is hand to feet pose. So you lift your foot and place your palm right under your foot and then step down so that your toes are actually kind of like grounding down into the crease of the wrist. And you can do that on both sides. If that's too much for you, you can just forward fold how you choose. But this is a way of creating a circle, like the Ouroboros, the snake that eats its own tail. It's a universal symbol for wholeness, unity, completion. Everything is a cycle. Everything is a connected whole. There's nothing outside of it. So release your hands from under your feet if you were in that pose. You'll slowly draw yourself up to stand. How we doing? All right. I had a request for twists. Let's just take a nice, easy lunge twist with actually, you know what would feel nice? Well, knees. I don't know. Some of us have knee issues. Okay, why don't we do a supported twist at the wall if you have the wall. If you don't have the wall, take a block. Let's just go for an Utkatasana, a chair twist. This actually strengthens the quads as well as the core, as well. It does a lot of work, right? It's not an easy pose. It's not a really joyful pose, but maybe that'll challenge us to find something joyful and something that isn't normally.
right, so if you're going to use the block, you place the block between the thighs and you really step your feet close to each other so that you feel the inner thighs squeezing into that block. Okay. From there, you're going to sit yourself hips back. You're sitting your hips back. So your knees aren't reaching forward past your ankles. Your knees are staying over your feet. You should still be able to see your toes. Your tush is reaching back behind you. Hands can come together at the heart, and you're reaching across for the twist. The other place that you could do this is at a wall, and then the wall is taking a lot of your weight and supporting you in your hips. So your hips are sitting back at the wall, and you can still come into the twist here. That's a way to focus deeper on the twisting aspect and protecting the low back so you're not doing as much work. Yeah, but wherever you are, so just take it to one side and just kind of like be in this stupid, annoying, challenging shape, the outer form, and then go inside and find what's joyful there. Maybe it's the twist in the belly. Maybe it's that feeling of wringing out. Maybe it's the way you could just let your head hang and soften the neck. Whatever finds joy is, find that. Maybe it is the bird or the sunshine outside your window. Good, you're gonna come back through the center, bring your arms up overhead, take a little toe balance here. So just squeezing that block, squeezing the inner thighs, drawing the belly in, tailbone down, find yourself balancing. Laugh at yourself. It's okay to laugh at yourself. Good, lower that down. You're gonna come, take the other side of the pose, sit back into your chair, find your twist. Make sure the belly is hugging in to the back of the spine. Trying to drop your seat as low as you can and feel the rib cage and the belly muscles twisting around. Good, release that out. Come stand all the way up. One more time. Find your toe balance. Put a smile on your face. Drawing the quad muscles in and up so you're strengthening around the knees. Good, and lower down. Woohoo! All right, we'll do one last thing standing, which is it's a breathing practice, and then we'll bring it down to the mat. This is called breath of joy. It's a 3-part inhale, 1 part exhale. So we're like over oxygenating. We're like in, and really filling our lungs to their capacity. This taking in, receiving energy. And then on the exhale, we let it all out. So it looks like you're an orchestra conducting. So you're gonna go inhale, 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 and then on the exhale, you fold down over bent knees and you just sweep it all the way behind you. And then you inhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, 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 and exhale. Do a few of those as your own. If you want to exhale through an open mouth, you can do that. And the next time you come up to stand, you can bring your hands down to your belly, close your eyes. Just come into present moment awareness, Hineni.
Just visualize a brightness, a joyful brightness of light and energy within your body. You can let your hands just rest by your sides. And we're going to do a breathing practice where you're engaging energy from the earth. So find the base of your feet again. Imagine opening all your pores, the muscles, spreading the bones of your feet. And you may actually lift and spread your toes. Just feel that connection. And on your inhale, you're going to inhale from deep, deep within the earth. What is unseen, you're going to draw energy from the earth up through the feet, through the legs, into the pelvic floor, up through the belly, up through the heart, through the throat channel, up into the face, through the third eye, and up to the crown of your head. Like you're drawing this magnetic, spectacular energy, and it's just flowing through you and emanating up through the crown of your head. Good. And then as you exhale, kind of let it shower down back over you and through you, returning to the earth. So you're going to just keep breathing like that. If you want to add arms, if that helps you, this feeling of drawing up, 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 up into the sky, and then drawing back down. So this is kind of informed by a Qigong practice, right? Do this at your own pace, and it's more about the visual, the feeling of connecting to energy, what's invisible but always present. All right, I'll invite you when you're ready to come down onto your mat and spend we have about 4 or 5 minutes left together. Just find what your body wants. What would feel joyful for you now? You can sit in meditation, you can take a pigeon pose, you could take an inversion, you can take a child's pose or anything, a lying twist. Whatever feels right for you, just trust that, allow yourself to be fully present within that. Take a moment to offer prayers for yourself, for your loved ones, for our community and the world. the infinite abiding presence of the eternal. Bless us, bless our families, our friends, our community. Bless all beings in the world. May we find peace within ourselves and with each other. Say shalom b'mama hu yaseh shalom aleinu kol Yisrael vel kol yoshvei tevel.